Myanmar nationals' deportation and honorific titles such as Datukship have their credibility diminished. That's coming up. The High Court today allowed human rights groups to challenge a decision to deport over 1,000 Myanmar nationals last month. The court also extended a ban on the removal of the remaining members of the group until the completion of the full hearing. Now, the ruling by the High Court came despite an existing law that prevents anyone from challenging a decision made by immigration authorities. What is this law in question? Human rights lawyer Sin Yew breaks it down for us and explains the implications of the ruling.
A judicial review is the power of the courts to question and check on decision of any public authority to see whether it's in compliance with the laws. And what has happened here is that when you question the decision of the Director General of Immigration under the Immigration Act, the decision of the Director General of Immigration is protected under what we call an ouster clause. An ouster clause simply means that it is a clause under the Immigration Act that prevents the court from checking on his decision unless there has been procedural non-compliance. And what do I mean by procedural non-compliance? Procedural non-compliance is when the law says, for example, you have to do certain things, A, B, and C, and you fail to do A, B, and C, that would be a procedural non-compliance.
Newson further added, in this case, the court granted permission to review the decision due to procedural non-compliance.
There has been a procedural non-compliance by the Director General of Immigration in that his decision is illegal under the law. And why do we say that it's illegal? It's illegal because it's inconsistent with international customary law. It's inconsistent with the Federal Constitution. It's inconsistent with the Charles Act. And it's inconsistent with the substantive legitimate expectation that all refugees and asylum seekers in Malaysia, they will not be sent back to their country of origin, because there is a fear that if they are sent back, there will be a real risk, there will be a grave harm on their life and liberty. So the court has agreed that the challenge is premised on these grounds, and there is a need to inquire further to decide whether or not the Director General of Immigration's decision to deport the 1,200 Myanmar nationals is indeed illegal.
Immigration Director General Dato' Khairul Zaimi Daud said 1,086 Myanmar nationals sent back on February 23rd did not include refugees or asylum seekers holding the UN High Commissioner for Refugees card. Human rights groups such as Amnesty International and Asylum Access claimed otherwise.
Travel for tourism will be allowed between states under the Recovery Movement Control Order. Senior Minister Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob said the targeted travel bubble will take effect from tomorrow and will be subject to strict SOPs.
Those who want to travel for domestic tourism can only do so by using tour agency vehicles, whereby operators will have to seek police permission to make the journey. Sabri said private vehicles are not allowed for this scheme as they will be difficult to monitor. Travel for tourism for those in CMCO areas is still not allowed. However, travelling from an RMCO destination to another via a CMCO state is allowed. Sabri assured that tour transport operators will not be stopped in between destinations.
And here are other local headlines for today.
A total of 363 individuals have received the COVID-19 vaccine in the Phase 1 of the National COVID-19 Immunization Program as of March 8. The highest number of vaccination is in Sarawak with 25,271 people vaccinated, followed by Pahang, Selangor and Johor. Meanwhile, the government is set to announce details of the Special Protection Plan to compensate those who experience serious side effects from the COVID-19 vaccination next Monday. Science, Technology and Innovation Minister Khairi Jamaluddin said the full details will be made during his joint press conference with Health Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Adam Babar. The government is also drafting a plan for the homeless and refugees to get vaccinated. Khairi said that he will have a meeting with agencies in the United Nations to discuss how best to handle refugees and also coordinate with Kuala Lumpur City Hall to discuss vaccinating the homeless. The government will consider a certificate of exemption to any individual who cannot receive a COVID-19 vaccine injection due to them having serious allergies or are immunocompromised. Khairi said the issuance of the certificate was to replace the digital vaccine certificate that would be given to all recipients once they have completed the second dose of the vaccine. The government, he said, was still refining the plan to give digital vaccine certificates via the MySejahtera application. Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi pleaded not guilty to an amended charge of money laundering involving funds from his family-owned welfare foundation Yayasan Akal Budi. He claimed the amended charge, which now involved 35 cheques with a total value of over 7.5 million ringgit, was aimed at making his sentence heavier. Zahid's trial continues as he faces 47 charges, 12 for criminal breach of trust, 8 for corruption and 27 for money laundering.
Efforts are underway to set up a national-level council to register genuine honorific title holders. The move aims to put a stop to the use of fake and unrecognized titles, including datukship for sale syndicates that are rampant in the country. The move will be led by the Council of Federal Datuks in Malaysia. Its president, Datuk Awalan Abdul Aziz, said a proposal has been submitted to the Registrar of Societies to set up the council.
We reckon the idea was that to have it at the national level. Our current association or our current council is only for the recipient of federal datus, which are the PGN, Panglima Jasa Negara, and PSD, Panglima Setia Diraja. So with the national level council, we probably can also invite the honorific title holders from other states to also join at that national level as a member.
The idea was mooted by the Home Affairs Ministry in efforts to root out fake honorific awards and title holders. The council, according to Awalan, however, will not manage the conferment of awards, but only to register genuine title holders. Currently, the public can check if an individual has been conferred an honorific title on istiadat.gov.my.
It is an association, council, an association that will register member, and there is a vetting process to ensure that only those recognized title holders will be accepted as a member, just like what we did for MDPM right now. We have to make sure that those people are really, the title has been bestowed by either, in our case, MDPN is Seri Paduka Baginda Yang Ketua Agong. So make sure that they have the watika, and they have to submit together with the watika. We vet through, we do the checking. If they are genuine, then only we accept them as a member.
Recently, the Kelantan police detained a man believed to have been using a false datuk title and another man suspected of posing as a member of the Kelantan royal family. Honorific titles such as the datukship are conferred to deserving individuals as an appreciation by the state or federal government in recognition of their contributions, be it in politics, sports or to society. But with the rampant abuse and misuse of these titles, has the once revered datukship title lost its value and credibility?
Holder of certain title, and then you go against the law. People don't see you as a person or your name or even your organization. People say, a Datuk or a Tan Sri or Datuk Sri, violated this law. It becomes the title of the news. So because of that, somehow people question, if you are a Datuk or Tan Sri, you're supposed to have certain stature in the society, because of your contribution to the society and so on. However, when every time there is such cases, the highlight is your title. because you are a Dato' or you are Tan Sri or you are a Dato' Sri. But then again, they are also human beings at the same time. But because of that perception, I guess, what you say is quite makes sense. However, now we have the act in place, the law in place. Now we realize that the police also come into force strongly, and we really hope that this can bring back the sanctity of the awards and the title.
We'll take a short break. Stay with us.
Dove dengan micellar dan oksigen, shampoo volume nourishment, mengembalikan alunan dan kelebatan rambut lepe, 95% lebih lebat. Dove volume nourishment.
Bila sentuh soal berita,
Welcome back onto international news. Myanmar's military has revoked licenses for 5 media companies as widespread protests continued in the country. But in clear defiance, 4 of the media outlets continued their coverage online today. The government has detained dozens of journalists since the coup in February. Daily protests are being staged across the country since the army takeover, and authorities are cracking down harshly, some using live rounds on protesters. More than 60 people have been killed and over 1,800 detained so far. And here are other international headlines today.
Americans who are fully vaccinated are now allowed to gather indoors without masks or social distancing. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention said the new rule is considered a first step towards restoring normalcy. Individuals are considered fully vaccinated after 2 weeks of getting the last shot of the COVID-19 vaccine. China launched a digital COVID-19 vaccination certificate to allow citizens to travel cross borders. The certificate, which includes vaccination information and COVID-19 test results, aims to achieve mutual verification with other countries in a step to open borders. Countries that have launched a similar vaccine passport include Bahrain, while the European Union and other countries are still in talks to also develop it. The World Health Organization, meanwhile, has advised against mandating vaccine passports for international travel because of numerous concerns, including ethical considerations. WHO Emergencies Chief Dr. Michael Ryan said COVID-19 vaccines are not easily available globally and is not available on an equitable basis. WHO also previously noted that it's still unknown how long immunity lasts from COVID-19 vaccines and that data are still being collected.
In 2019, 85% of forests in Peninsular Malaysia were permanent reserve forests, a classification that can be revoked at any time by sole authority of state governments. Tonight on Consider This, Shirakutan and Melissa Idris speak to our panelists about state forestry dynamics. That is all we have for you on Awani tonight. Get the latest news updates on COVID-19 and COVID-19 vaccines from astroawani.com and Astro Awani app. I'm Sin Yew and we'll see you tomorrow.